Well, hello, hello, my hey, I got something to say, women around the world and men that support us. Finally, woohoo! Melanie McLeod is in the house. Melanie, thanks for being patient with me.
Problem at all.
So, Melanie and I were scheduled to, I think, months ago.
Yeah,
And then
last
it didn't
year.
work out. And then today, the Zoom clouds weren't with us. And it was like, okay, what's going on? And that just means sometimes life throws you curveballs, but you get back in there. And it couldn't be more fitting for your topic today, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Although business is always a straight line, isn't it, Melanie?
Sandy, when things go wrong, I'm happy because I was like, oh, I got that out the way.
I think we're good to go now. And then it wasn't recorded. I'm like, oh, there's all new ways now. Now I get, yeah, you're tricking me. Okay. Well, Melanie, I really appreciate you being on the show. I met Melanie, I don't know, maybe it was September at a conference in the city, and I heard you speak. And I was like, I got to have that woman on my show. I definitely, and I wanted to meet you. So then we met up and we had lunch, and we were just like two kindred spirits. It was great. And now finally it's worked out. So I want to start right away, Melanie, before I tell them a little bit about your background and all that you've done. I love your power statement. I've heard several things like this, but never quite put this way. Don't try to outrun fear. Throw it in the back seat and take it with you. Okay, I have so many questions about that. But the number
Okay.
one is of all the things you could have picked, why did you pick that one to share with women around the world?
Well, Sandy, I picked that because I think a lot of us think that we can't do things when we're fearful. So we are like, well, I can't do that because I'm scared. And so consequently, they don't do a lot of things that they could do just because they're waiting for fear to go away. Fear's
Mm.
not going anywhere. But the one thing to remember is that you can't be doing something and have fear at the same time. So it's okay to feel fear. You throw it in the back seat and you're looking forward. You can't see fear if you're looking forward. So when you put it in the back seat, you're going that way. Fear's back there. And once you are fully engrossed in what you're doing, you soon forget all about fear because fear and what you're doing can't coexist.
I think I get it. I think I get it. All right, so I just want to make sure that I understand it. And then we have a lot of questions just about this power statement.
Okay.
So I always say you can't have, I'll do things like you can't have pure joy and anger at the same time. You can go back and forth,
Right.
but
Exactly.
when
So
you're
fear,
pure joy, yeah, you
exactly.
can't be
Ex-
angry.
That's right. That's true. And it's the same with fear. I can't be doing something and feeling fear at the same time. So the only time you feel fear is when you're thinking about fear.
Okay. So when you're taking action, that's when the fear's still there, but it's in the back seat.
Completely. Because you don't have time to think about it because you're too busy doing what you're doing. So fear is not even in the picture. So if you say, I'm not waiting to get rid of fear, I know I'm going to always have some fear. But when I throw fear in the back seat, my eyes are going forward, and that's the direction I'm going in.
Okay. So let's dive in to just a few questions and then we'll go back once I introduced you. But I want to get this. I mean, I got it over and over and over again. So I'll narrow it down to, and I always make up names, Melanie, to, we'll go with Bonnie here. And she's not the only one that asked this. Dear Melanie, I understand what you mean theoretically. But how do I take that first step to overcome fear when it's so, I think it's such a big feeling inside me. For
Okay.
example, I've been at the same job for 25 years and I really want to make a move and I've even gotten an opportunity to work with a friend. but I can't even get out of the fear-based mode. Please help.
Okay. So first thing is, what are you afraid of? And so once we can say, what's the worst possible thing that can happen if I do this? If I can accept the worst possible thing that can happen, what is there to fear? I already know the worst thing that could happen. And if that happens, then I deal with it. And I'm okay with that. But it's really being able to understand what you're afraid of, because it's like, okay, I'm afraid of losing my job. Well, you could go in tomorrow and they lay you off. Okay, there are no guarantees in anything. And so when we think that we're protecting ourselves, we're really not. So when we say, I'm afraid to do something, well, why are you afraid to do it? What's the worst thing that can happen? And could it happen anyway? Are you really protecting yourself? So being able to focus on what you really want in
Gotcha.
your life, that is the most important thing. When I'm focusing on the joy, and that's why I love your joy. Joy is important. It's being able to say every day, am I doing things that supports my joy? Am I doing things that makes me happy? Because when I'm not doing things that make me happy, I'm still living in fear, even though I don't think I am. That's still fear. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of joy. It's fear of happiness. It's fear of change. It's fear of doing something different. It's fear of not being in control. We're not really in control. We just think we are.
I like that. And I like that. Well, what's the worst thing that can happen? And even in this case, even if you stay here, it could happen. Your job's
That's
not
right.
guaranteed.
No jobs are guaranteed. They lay off every day. You turn on the news, 3,000 people, 5,000 people laid off.
Right.
So there are no guarantees. We think I'm going to stay on my job because it's secure. What's a secure job? Any job can be gone just like that.
That's true. All right. There's a bunch more, and we're not going to get them all. You'll have to reach out to Melanie. But let me tell you a little bit about Melanie McLeod. Melanie is CEC, PCC, is the president and founder of Coach U Solutions. Now you understand. She is a certified business and life coach. Melanie has extensive experience in management, corporations, and government, and is an adjunct college professor of business. She is also a certified energy practitioner, and she teaches people how to integrate their mind, body, and spirit. Vast of wisdom coming here at me. All right, so back to that. I cannot tell you how many questions I got just on that one statement. This young lady said, ever since she lost her job, she wakes up every morning with anxiety and fear. Melanie, I'm not sure what to do. Once I get out of bed, I'm fine. But unless I have a specific time I have to get out of bed, I could lay there for 30 to 40 minutes filled with anxiety. Please help. Do you have any solutions?
And so I think one of the things that is important for us to note is that, excuse me, when we stay in one place, we are only going to create the situation of anxiety because there isn't anything else to do but to sit there and think and feel. And so I think it's important every day to make choices. What do I want to do today? Do things that are within your control. So going for a walk in the neighborhood, you can get up and say, hey, today I want to get up and go for a walk. Today I'm going to cook something I've never cooked before. Today I'm going to make a list of the things that make me happy. Today I'm going to decide what I want to create in my life. Do I want a new job? Well, if I do, let's envision what that looks like. Let's create that. So let's get that vision board out and let's just have fun, like we're back at kids drawing pictures. Let's draw our life. Let's say I'm
Oh, I
going to
love
create.
that.
I'm going to create what I want in my life and have joy in it and believe that anything is possible. And when you can say anything's possible, then you don't have to get stuck in the powerlessness that we can feel sometimes. So do things that you can do. Make a list of things you can do and do those things. That gives you back your power.
By the way, one of my clients just gave me this. It says choose joy.
Choose joy
So
every day.
I want to know a little bit more about this because I'm very curious. I always thought, not that people don't get anxiety and stress, happens to the best of them, but I thought, and then I heard, I don't know if this is true, I thought when you woke up in the morning, that's when you have a clean slate. That's when you don't have anxiety or stress. That's like because you slept and you wake up, but that occurs. And then someone said that's not true. A lot
Um,
of people wake up that way, and then once they're up and going, it
right.
subsides. Is that
It
true?
depends. Well, it depends on where you're at in your life. Okay, so if I go to bed, feeling not feeling great about my life, I'm going to wake up not feeling great about my life. So it's really kind of a thing on where this is, where my mind is, and where my mind is focusing. So one of the things that I suggest when you wake up feeling anxious is either put on some music that is just really beautiful to you, music that
Mhm.
is inspirational to you, that makes you feel good, and breathe. Because when I'm breathing, it allows a lot of the stress and anxiety out. Because otherwise, it gets bottled up and it goes round and round and round, and then it just starts to spread throughout our bodies. So if we can get up in the morning and just take deep breaths. A lot of people like to do Tai Chi, where you're just bringing the energy from the earth, from the sun into you, bringing the energy from the earth into you, and those sorts of things really help. So when you find yourself waking up not feeling good, jump up, take a hot shower, go for a walk, do some breathing, do some meditations, put on some nice music, and allow positive energy to flow through you.
So I think the important thing I'm hearing here is because she's not at work right now, that alarm clock is not going off at 6 or 7 or whatever. So she wakes up and doesn't have to get out of bed. So
But she but
what you're
she can
saying,
choose to get out of bed.
yeah, because you just said when you're in this, I don't want to get this wrong. That was really important. I didn't hear it this way. I didn't know that. When you're in the same space, that's when anxiety is going to build. So while she's laying there is when the anxiety is building.
She's not thinking positive thoughts in that moment,
Yeah,
because if I'm in a space where all I'm thinking about is, oh my goodness, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, I don't know how I'm going to get my next meal, I don't know how I'm going to take care of my children. I mean, then I can feel myself start to breathe heavy just thinking about it. Okay, just saying those things, I'm like, oh wait a minute, I'm starting to hyperventilate. So the thing is that
I got
what we feed ourselves with is how we're going to make ourselves feel.
you. Yeah.
If we
Uh,
sat down and ate junk food all day long, you're not going to necessarily feel very good by the end of the day. So we have to feed ourselves with positive thoughts. And it doesn't mean that we're ignoring what's happening. It's meaning we're choosing to look at what's happening differently. Oh, wow, this is a perfect opportunity for something better to enter my life and be able to have
I
that
like that.
trust.
I like that.
That trust that, wow, this is great. I don't have anything in my way of something that I really want to happen to come now.
That's cool. All right, so I just want to make sure because there's some really great points in here. Number one, if you don't have a reason, like you said, to get up in the morning and the alarm clock's going off because you got to get kids to school or a job, you can still make a conscious effort that I'm going to get up at whatever time versus laying in the bed and do, like you said, take a hot shower, take a walk,
Doing
do put,
something. Yeah.
put music on. Um, because lying there is not going to make it any better. It's just going to, you're just going to keep
Absolutely.
ruminate. All right, I just want to make sure.
Lying there could only make you better is if you choose to pick up your Kindle and read a positive,
Right, right,
something that is going to help you jump
right.
out the bed. But if you're just laying there
Yep.
thinking about how things are, then you're just creating more of the anxiety.
Ooh, ooh, that was a good one. You're thinking of how things are.
Yeah.
You
Think about how you want things to be.
so if you wake up, like I have my little routine. I wake up, I call God Neil, I say hi to Neil, I do some breathing things, and then I think about how I want to show up that day. that's a routine that clicks my head into that positive. I'm not saying I don't get anxious and stressed like the rest of them, but it doesn't stay there
Right.
because I have that routine
That's
created.
right. You have to create a routine. And when you wake up and you have that anxiety, we all do, and I don't want anyone to think that what's wrong with me and I'm feeling, we are all human beings and we all have our moments. What I say is feel your feels and then choose how you want to feel next.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yes, go ahead.
Yep. No, that's a big one because I think for a long time, Melanie, I truly can say I wasn't really feeling my feelings. I was just popping into the other mode, and that's not good either.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So it's
Go
okay
ahead.
to wake up and feel anxious for a few minutes, and then you say, okay, I got to feel that. Now, what do I want to feel next? And so I can take a deep breath and say, okay, if I wake up and I'm upset and I want to cry, fine, cry. Cry with purpose. My purpose is to cry because I feel like crying in this moment. And
I
now
love that.
I've done it. Now what do I want to do? Next.
And I love the one thing I want to make sure I get these because there's a lot of good things to hang on to. If you lost your job or something didn't come through, you didn't get the deal, blah, 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 you said this is an opportunity for something better to come along. This opens
Absolutely.
the doors for something I
Absolutely.
couldn't even see.
I couldn't see or do because I was too busy doing something I didn't want to be doing. So now is an opportunity for me to do what I want to do.
All right, people, you're going to have to rewind and rewind. Okay, so tell us about do you have a morning ritual?
And it's funny because my morning ritual isn't like some people are very, I'm going to do this every single morning. And I'm just not a person that's really good with, one thing fits all and let's just do that every single day. So, I might have spurts of time where I have a ritual and then it could change depending on where I'm at in my thought process. So, but every day I tell myself that I have a choice and I wake up with that. How do I choose to feel today? So I can wake up in a horrific mood and I can say, okay, do you want to stay here? Or do you want to go somewhere else? It's like, yeah, you know what? I'm tired of being grumpy. I don't want to be grumpy anymore. So I choose not to be grumpy. I choose to smile. I choose to walk in the mirror and stand there and smile at myself. Because when I stand in the mirror and smile at myself, I am giving myself the power because I just chose to smile at myself. And it makes me feel powerful because nobody can stop me from giving to myself what I need. We spend too much time wanting people to tell us we're okay, wanting people to tell us that they like what we did. And one of the things that's so important is that we don't need validation from the outside because it doesn't matter what you do. Half the people who see it are going to like it, and the other half are not going to like it. And so, do you want people walking around telling you what you want to hear? Guess what? You can tell yourself what you want to hear. So, I
Do
validate
I hear
me.
it? Amen.
I
I love
validate
that.
me.
Guess what? You can tell yourself what you want to hear.
That's right. And so, that's my ritual every day is to really,
That is a ritual. That I
yep,
mean, you might do other things like, and I love. There are a lot of people that come on the show and say the same thing. Depending on where their head is, it's all different. But they still do that one thing. Okay, do I want to feel angry all day long? Then I do want to feel angry. Then
yeah,
that's my choice.
that's my choice. Yeah.
So, as you can imagine, I do different things. Sometimes I write a little bit in my journal. Sometimes I write a long thing in my journal. That's the thing that's iffy. It depends on what's going on. It might be just sending gratitude and love, and it might be something I need to get out. So that always changes how much I write in the journal. But every single morning, Melanie, I come down, push the coffee pot, and I go out and I do this little dance, which all the neighbors now, are familiar with, no matter rain or shine, because there's a covering and it takes a couple minutes, but no matter what, it's like how you say I choose to feel. That puts me in a right headset. Now here's the difference: the dance is always different. And what I say is always different because it depends on what's going on.
Yeah.
But I made a decision to do it out in the front porch because that's where all the birds are and the squirrels and the bird feeders and everything. And that for me relaxes me,
Yeah.
watching them every morning.
Yeah,
So
and that's the key. That doing that when you said relaxes you. And that's what you're looking for.
absolutely.
You're looking for some feeling. Something has to shift.
Yep. Yep. So they want to know, not from me, from Melanie, as far as mindset rituals, let me see. Do you think it matters how long it lasts in the morning? They want to know if you believe there's a certain amount of time that you have to do something in the morning before you start your day.
I think that people have to realize that we're all individuals. And so everyone has to do what feels right for them. So for some people, are very regimented. They really need to say, from this time to this time, I'm going to do this. And if that works within your framework, then you do what works for you. We're all different people. For some of us, we need that block of time and
Yep.
really look forward to it. I had a friend one time, we were invited to go out, and he said, I can't go with you on Saturday because that's the time I mop my floor.
Stop it. That's freaking awesome.
Okay,
I
I'll
guess
do
it
your
meant
floor.
something to them.
And he'll be waiting for you when you get back. And he's like, nope, I can't do it. So, for that person, they need to have that ritual and the time frame and this is how I do things. And if you take people like that out of it, they fall apart. They're miserable. They're unhappy. Because the ritual, the routine, the thing that they can look forward to makes them feel better. And so we have to understand that there is no one size fits all. There's no one routine that fits all. You have to figure out who you are, what makes you happy, what makes you smile. I used to think that. I used to say, oh, I have to meditate every morning from this time to this time. I was like, my brain was going off all different places. Like, this isn't working for me. And then I had to realize, well, they can see I'm not that kind of person. So some days I get up and I feel like it. And I put on the meditation music and it's wonderful and great. And other mornings I get up and I leap off the bed because that's what I need to do in that moment.
I am so glad you're saying this. I cannot, oh my God, for years, I remember because, I owned a health club. So you always have so many people telling you this is how it has to be. And I always was, well, why? And I never was, this is how you have to get in shape. This is the only way. This is the word. I'm like, no, yeah, you should do cardio and some strength training, but you should do it that you're going to do it. That's the one that works, and that you look forward to doing versus I should. And we're going to get into that. But I remember some yogi telling me I had to meditate and you had to sit still and I had to do this for 40 minutes and that it was a choice and I wasn't choosing. And I said, are you sure? Like, why can't I meditate when I mountain bike? Why can't I meditate while I'm walking? I don't understand. Why can't I? And then years later, of course, they have walking meditations and while you're
Myself in the kitchen on the countertops. I'm standing in the kitchen. There's a countertop here, there's an island here. I'll do 5 or 10 body pull-ups. Like, I'm good.
that works.
It works.
It absolutely works. Oh my God. All right. So I want to get into that tip because I think it's a good thing if we put down and just kept looking at it. Am I shoulding on myself? And you hear people say, yeah, yeah, you don't should, you want. But how can they start training themselves to do that? Like, what is a technique? Because I think we've done a lot of shoulding and we don't know it. Like subconsciously, we should all over the place and we're
Um,
not even aware of it. I mean, that's how I feel.
So I think the first statement is because I want to. Okay. Can I say that? Can I say because I want, I'm doing that because I want to. And if I can say that, it's going to feel so good because I'm not shoulding. I'm doing it because I want to. And if I don't want to, guess what? I'm not doing that because I don't want to. That is taking back your power. That is being able to say, I'm really happy for you. I'm glad that you like to do that. I'm not doing it because I don't want to. I can't do it. I can't do it, but I don't want to do it. I can't do it, and I will
Oh,
do it.
Zach's in there.
I don't want to. It's that simple. Don't want to, so I'm not going to. I can do it because I want to. I can do it, but I don't want to. And the thing is that the guilt, it doesn't even have to come from anybody else. It comes from yourself. I feel guilty. I should have did that. Why? Because if you really thought it was that important, why didn't you want to do it? So you have to understand that part. If you don't want to do something, there's a reason. And you have to understand that. I don't want to do it because it's not something I enjoy. It's not something that feeds me. It's not something that supports me, whatever it is. And so I get to choose what I do and don't do. Every day I have a choice. And I also have a choice on how I react or respond to something. If someone's trying to make me do something I don't want to do, why do I have to get mad and upset and scream at people? Why? I can very simply say, thank you, but I don't want to do that. To get loud. I don't have to get mad at you. It's a response, not a reaction. When I'm screaming and yelling and freaking out about something, I'm reacting, which means I got triggered. If I don't want to do something, it's a simple no, thank you. I don't think I want to do that.
So I
Yeah.
can picture you saying that. That's a hoot. So have you ever gotten pushback on that? Like, thank you. I appreciate it, but I really don't want to do that. Have you gotten pushback from people?
Well, it's funny because, of course, I've told people that I don't eat bananas, but they wanted me to eat banana pudding because this was really good banana pudding. Because I don't eat bananas. So it's like, no, but you're gonna like this. It's really good. Well, okay. I'm sure it's delicious for you. And I hope you just continue to enjoy and you can continue to enjoy my share of it too. Because I don't eat bananas.
That's such a great analogy. Okay, now I think most people, like as we get older, a lot of this wisdom, it finally clicks in, but it does take a beat. And,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
but it does help. One young lady said, I think she's 27, and that it was much easier for her to choose what she wanted to do versus should have because her mom taught her that at a very, very young age. And
Mhm.
that's going to help a lot more, if you have that parental support and they're guiding you on that, versus figuring it out on your own.
Think, and that's true. We all have different backgrounds. My mom was the type of person that, you do whatever the man tells you to do and you keep peace. Your job as a woman
Oh,
is to keep peace. And now
no, I'm not going to do that.
it's to keep my inner peace. And it be, yeah, it was, when I was a little kid, my dad played pool. He wanted to teach his son. He taught me not knowing that I would actually love it. And when I beat him, he was very upset. And my mother told me that I shouldn't do that. That I'm supposed to lose on purpose. No.
Oh my. That is awesome. And I could just see your mom saying that and your dad being really angry. I can see it. Yeah.
He just it was the woman thing. Girls aren't supposed to beat a man at anything, and that
Yeah.
I think that we all have to figure out what
That's awesome.
fuels us, but at the same time that it doesn't become something that that's an anger driven thing. Sometimes we're driven by anger.
Yeah.
And when we're hurt, we sometimes are driving forces that anger because we're hurt. And I think that hurt and things like that are deeper things. They're things that come from us, not from someone else. And so how we know and how we keep that in check is, am I reacting or am I responding? Because when we get emotional, we're reacting. And when we can just talk about it calmly, we're responding. And so when we hear ourselves, and when I hear myself reacting, I immediately go, okay, you're reacting. What's going on here? It's not about that person anymore. The second we start getting emotional, it's about something that's going on inside of us. And so we just want to bring that to our attention, that if I'm starting to yell at someone and I'm getting really upset with someone, it's not about them anymore. It's about what triggered you.
Oh, I wish you could have been in the conversation last night at this dinner party. There was, I'm sure they might have had good intentions, this human that wrote me a 10-page letter on how like my path was going to hell. And they were very, 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 very religious person in a different faith than me. And I was like, oh my God, they don't even know me. Or they just felt the need. They knew I was a business owner and gave me this letter. Someone who didn't even know me, right?
Wow.
Just heard of me. And I started laughing. And my girlfriend goes, why aren't you so angry? I'm like, because it's ridiculous. And I said to her, when it hits home is when it triggers you. So why I wasn't angry, it wasn't, I was like, oh my God, this poor guy. That's a shame that he feels this way and is judging people that he doesn't even know. And she couldn't, she still wanted me to be really, really angry. Now, I don't think it's good that he wrote all that and gave it to me, but you see what I'm saying? It wasn't,
Well, why are you going to give
no.
your power? Why are you going to give your power to him? See, if somebody gets me angry, they won because now they're in my head.
Yeah.
I'm not letting you in my head. I don't have any reason to be angry. The bottom line is this: you can believe what you want to believe, you can feel what you want to feel, you can think what you want to think. Just stay out of my way. I don't need to hear if I want your opinion, I'll ask for it.
Oh my God, I'm just visualizing you growing up. Oh, what a hoot you were to your parents.
Oh,
And
yeah. Well,
I
my
could say,
parents were not very happy because they believed in spanking you, right? And I would not cry. And my dad he would be wailing on me, and I would look at him and say, "I hope you feel better now, because my opinion is still the same."
oh,
They finally
this
gave
is
up on hitting
awesome.
me. It's no point.
Well, Molly, that's a whole nother podcast, but I can see why this would make you really great at business. Holy freaking moly. I mean, this definitely are tips we should just put all over on stickums
Hey, I'm
everywhere.
not going to tell you that I always was like this, because I wasn't. I used to many years ago when I would get evaluations, I could get one or two bad ones and I could get 25 or 30 good ones, and I would just focus on the bad ones.
Yeah.
They said that, I was like, forget. And I said to myself, why do you give one or two people that much power when everybody else was happy? You're not focusing on the people who are happy. You're focusing on these two people who are probably just toxic people that nothing's ever going to make them happy. So why do you think you are? So it was a thing where I had to learn that it doesn't matter, if I can affect one person in a positive way, I've done something.
Mm.
I'm not going to be for everybody. No one is. And that's the thing we have to remind ourselves. We can't please everybody. It's impossible. So you just hope that those people that didn't get what they needed from you will find somebody that they can get what they need from. And that's what's important. If I can touch anybody, I'm happy. And if I can't, I'm really hopeful that I can help them steer them along the way to somebody who they can connect to. And that's what's important, is to not put yourself on this I have to please everybody thing, because it's not going to happen.
I love that. I love that. And I like that you said, if I can't give them what they want, I hope they find something of someone that can give them what they, that will serve them well. And that's okay that I wasn't able to. Oh, Melanie, you're a hoot. All right. I knew you cracked me up. This is awesome. Okay, peeps, let's just get this one thing in before we have to wrap up. Expect the best and not the worst. I mean, we covered on this a little bit. Expect the best and not the worst.
I think that people don't realize that what you put out to the universe is what you're exactly going to get back. So if you say, I can't afford to do anything. Okay, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're not going to be able to afford to do anything. So, being realistic, I'm broke. Okay. And you're going to stay that way. So and the bottom line is that what you project and what you put out there is what's going to come back to you. So that's why affirmations are so important. And I think that if you can affirm, it's affirming what you believe things to be. I am prosperous. I am successful. I am wealthy. I am all of these things. And if every day you tell yourself that, that's all the universe hears. But every day, if you're in negative mode, my life sucks. Okay, well, you're just going to keep on having because that's what you're bringing to you. It's like,
All
so
right, I want to home in on that because let's get back to this young lady because there was a lot about this that women that are in transition that were successful. Well, maybe they lost their job or they're starting a new career. Touch on because well, I'm a big believer in affirmations, you know that. But so here they are, company downside, they lost their job. They're worried about for the first time how they're going to make money, pay their bills, whatever. How do they get themselves in that mindset that they believe it? Because, like the one woman said, if I'm just saying it and I see what's in my account, then I know I'm just lying to myself.
because there's no action. The action is putting out there what I want. What do you want? So this is an opportunity. If I said to you, if you didn't have to worry about bills, if you didn't have to worry about anything, what would you be doing? What what is your vision for yourself? If there's anything I could do, what would it be? Because people get very stuck on limitations. Well, I can't. I can't. Why? Why can't you? Because the only reason you can is because you've decided you can't. You look at things as how something's going to happen. We don't decide how things happen. We decide what's going to happen. So when we say, this is what I want to happen, we don't have to see how it's going to happen. And that's where people fail because it's like, well, I can't see that. Well, of course, you can't see it and you won't see it because you can't see it. So if you can just say, I have no idea how this is going to happen, but this is what I want to happen. I can tell you every job I've had, I never even applied for it. The phone just rang and an email just came over. So I didn't go looking for that job. I put out there what I was hoping and wanting to do. And then all of a sudden, I get a phone call. Oh, Melanie, uh, so and so company is looking for something. I thought of you. Oh, well, thank you. So I think it's important to stop believing what you see. Seeing is believing. What means I can see what I want. I don't know how I'm going to get it, but I can see what I want. And I think that that's really important to change the mindset because, oh, believe it when I see it is the attitude that so many
Yes,
people
yes,
have.
yes.
Yeah. But you got to see it and you got to see it and then believe it because I'm not going to believe it till I see it. It doesn't work well.
You know, all the most incredible, amazing, like, I can't believe that happened. Everything in business for me was never, ever how I planned it. It was like you said, I got that speaking engagement because somebody was, I got the test because somebody like, I got into bit. None of it was like, this is how I see it happen. But again, this is what I overall picture wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every big thing I can think of.
I think that we believe that everything we do, we have to be in charge and control of it. And I've learned the hard way, like ever since the pandemic. I can tell you, I had a really big contract and I was doing a full-time gig and stuff. And I quit it right before the pandemic because it was eating into my business and I wanted my business to be more robust. So I quit and then the pandemic hit. And I went, oh my goodness, what am I going to do now? And I didn't panic, because I believe that when you allow yourself to be taken on this journey of life,
Mm.
things work out for the best. And out of nowhere, I got a call from a client who just got a massive grant, and they asked me to coach all of their clients that were existing business owners through the pandemic. So I had 3 years of like 50 clients at a time. It was
You didn't
insane.
see that coming.
I did not see that coming. It's like, what just happened? So you have to believe that good things can come to you. A lot of us,
Yeah.
we're a little bit jaded because we've had experiences in our lives that supports us being jaded, but we can choose to not be jaded. We can choose to say, I can believe that good things will happen. And I will keep focus on what I want, not how it's going to happen.
Yeah. That's important. Focus on what you want, not how it's going to happen. All right. Melanie, this, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. There are so many techniques and tips and tools that you provided for the women around the world and men that support us. But before we go, if tomorrow morning you could wake up and whisper in all the women around the world's ears, what would be the one thing that you would want to say to them?
I would say you can, you will, and you are enough.
That pretty much sums it up. You can, you will, and you are enough. I don't know. I'm running out of sticky notes to put all your words of wisdom, Melanie. All right, hey, I got something to say, women around the world and men that support us. Come on. I don't even know a human that wouldn't benefit from listening to Melanie, right? Everyone would benefit. But before we go, you need to tell us how they can reach you, how you can find you. And is there anything recently that you're up to? Tell us everything that we need to know. Not
Sure.
everything, but
Not everything, but sure, absolutely. So one of the things that's important to me is that I've been a business coach for a long time, but I'm a life coach. And I spend a lot of my time in that business arena. And one of the things that I see is that we can't just stay stuck in learning how to run a business or learning, how to do things. We have to learn how to be a whole person. And so I look at my body and spirit. I look at how do we connect all of the parts of ourselves and be able to feel good about who we are. Because some of us, we feel like if we are in a certain type of job, we can't let people know about this other side of us. It's too woo woo, it's too this or it's too that. So it's really about, doing that. And that's been a struggle for me because I do love energy work and I do love, I'm an empath. I'm all of those things. And I never could
yeah.
admit those things before because my logic brain says that it will scare people. So I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's really important to find that. So I'm planning moving forward on putting together a program called Finding Self. And it's going to be, a program where you are going to really look back at who you were meant to be before our parents and our teachers and our bosses and everybody start telling us what we should do and have to do. Who are you really? What makes you tick? What do you have to give to the world? What is your purpose of your existence?
I love that. I love that you're doing that too. And I love that you're including all of it. All right. And how can they find you and reach out to you?
So you can find me. You can either send me an email at Melanie McLeod. It's Melanie, McLeod, MCLEOD 10 at gmail.com. or you can go onto my website at www.coachusolutions.com. And that's Coach U.
And we'll make sure we include it all in the show notes so they'll have it. All right, Melanie, thank you so much for being on the
You're
show.
welcome. And I do have a free complimentary consultation. It's if you go, excuse me, onto the Coach U Solutions site, you can just go on Calendly and set up a time and we can talk for half an hour. Completely complimentary, just to see where you're at and how I can support you.
You got guys, you have to take her up on it. You have to, no matter what. You have to take her up on it. All right. Well, you know what I'm going to say. Until next time, I love you guys and toodles. Thanks, Melanie.
Good night, goodbye, everybody.